Tonight, taking the message from the city to the suburbs, protesters against police brutality gathered in several towns outside of Indianapolis to speak, to march, and to make sure they were heard in what are typically quiet neighborhoods. RTV6's Mark Mullins is live with a look at the difference between downtown tonight and the suburbs today.
Nicole, downtown, it is quiet, no curfew, no protests, but there was still a lot of work to do today. Protesters took their message from the streets of downtown Indy to places like Fishers, Noblesville, and Brownsburg. In Fishers, a young woman had no idea how many would show up.
I started a campaign called Change the Narrative, How Do You See Me?
But Rain Acosta organized a peaceful rally and march to protest police brutality and to demand justice for black men and women who have died in police custody or were victims of hate crimes by civilians. Rain feels the message needs to be just as loud in the quieter communities surrounding the Circle City.
So if we come here and show them here as well, not just downtown Indy, it just helps spread the word even more.
We wanted our kids to come out and see some of what's going on and kind of let them experience it firsthand, because it's nothing like seeing it in person and understanding what's going on.
Michelle Weber brought her young daughter from Carmel to the rally and march. Mom is already trying to teach empathy.
We've talked a lot about just how we would feel if that were happening to us, and just putting it on, ourselves. It's best expressed by kids. They are innocent and they know that it's wrong.
They were among roughly 40 people who stood quiet during a moment of silence to honor George Floyd, the man who died last month in police custody in Minneapolis. The protesters then marched with police along 116th Street in Fishers. Rain's goal was to spark dialogue between the officers and the protesters. Sunder Nix had questions for those in uniform. What kind of questions did you ask or want to know?
I just people ask them, like, what I saw in Minnesota, it was heartbreaking to me. And I asked them, how would they handle that situation if we had on their force? He said, yeah, they have bylaws and pro-laws, they'll probably stop that situation right there.
The chief of the Fishers Police Department spent a majority of the march answering questions and learning lessons.
Just communicate. I really think we just need to keep communicating, keep the dialogue moving. We're going through policy reviews and looks just like every other agency. I want the community to be involved in that.
So I believe if we know more about each other, we can help each other out, and that's how we progress.
Do you think that's where the biggest... Organizers wanted this to be a safe, peaceful demonstration. They even stressed that if you see protesters get in line, remind them of why we're here and who we're standing for. Well, there were peaceful protests today in other suburbs, too. In Noblesville, hundreds gathered at Federal Hill Commons carrying signs reading Black Lives Matter and Say Their Names in reference to so many black men and women who have died at the hands of police officers. Organizers say they want to put an end to racial violence in America. Reverend Mindy Mays with the Bethel AME Church in Noblesville spoke to the crowd, saying she fears as a black woman that she may one day get a call that one of her brothers, her nephews, or her cousins, or her godson even, will have some encounter with police that didn't end well. But she said that she has hope for change. And in Brownsburg, a small gathering, but with a powerful message. And as you can see, protesters gathered with signs. One said, "Stop killing black people." Another, "I can't breathe. Rest in peace, George Floyd." And another that read, "Stop police brutality." There were uniformed officers on scene, including one who hugged one of the protesters. Of course, a peaceful day of demonstrations, but as is the case here in Indy, protesters say that they want this dialogue to turn into action and into policy change. I'm live downtown working for you. Mark Mullins, RTV6.